That furnace is running at 2200 Fahrenheit and around 1200 Celsius. Inside there's a puddle of clear glass sitting in there. Looks like a salad bowl filled with honey in the bottom. And so Matt's gonna go right back in a second and get a little bit more, and that'll give us enough glass to make our little starter bubble. There it is, clear molten glass. It's glowing and it's moving. It wants to drip and fall right off if we stop turning. So we'll keep it turning or flipping, try to keep the glass on the pipe. But it's cooling. It's cooling down. Before it cools down too much, we want to get the bubble started. We're going to shape it, rolling through a big wet wooden spoon. We call that a block. The glass is riding on steam. That's just wet wood. The glass actually has a little cushion of steam to shape it up. Get it ready for this part, which is making the bubble. That's going to blow air in the pipe, trap the air with his thumb, air gets trapped in the tube, and it creates our starter bubble. 3, 2, 1, bubble. Boom.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So that right there, that's enough material, enough glass to make a little drinking cup. Now it wants to make something about this size. So to do that, we need a little bit more glass. We're going to let this cool down, stiffen up. We're going to dip it back into our furnace and add another layer. Glassblowing is all about layers. Everything you've seen here, it all starts out like this. You want to make something really big, bigger pipe, bigger furnace, bigger studio, bigger team, bigger people. Everything's bigger. So we're going to let this cool down. You might shape it up a little bit, but really we're just letting this cool down and stiffen up so it can support that next layer. We go back in when this is too hot, our bubble is going to fall off center or collapse. And then we'll want to start over. Any fire you see, that's the beeswax that we coat the blades with. It's flammable. Why? Great. We coat them to add a little liquid barrier in between the blades. So if you use like cold steel with nothing on them, it puts a lot of friction on the glass. It's like somebody stopping the pipe from turning while you're using the tool. So it lubricates them. So there we go. We added another layer. You can see that bubble still in there. We melt clear glass in our furnace. This allows us to apply all sorts of different beautiful colors. That's what we're doing next. We're rolling through crushed up bits of colored glass. So we melt clear and then we can add all sorts of different colors. And what gives glass color is metal oxide. Same thing that gives us different colors in fireworks, gives us different colors in glass. So that is a cobalt blue. Do you know what's in it? Cobalt. Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, what's up?
Do you ever molten colored glass?
Like put colored glass in the furnace?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you can do that, but then you're limited. You know, everything you make is then blue. You know, so we like to keep the clear glass in there. That gives us the ability to make green tomorrow or whatever we want. But yeah, you can totally. You'll typically do it at the end of the furnace's life, which is about 3 years they last. The crucible that holds the glass, they get kind of pitted and start to fall apart after about 3 years. And so I've worked at a studio at the end of the life of the furnace. We would just for fun, for about a week, we would melt white. Okay, that's it for the color. So we're going to melt that down. Sometimes our shape gets a little distorted while we're applying those colors. Before we inflate our bubble, we want to make sure it's round and on center. You know, the bubble always blows up round. If you have your glass uneven, you blow it up, you're going to end up with an uneven bubble, thick and thin spots. If you're trying to make something even, symmetrical, with thick and thin spots, it's going to be really tricky. So we're going to shape it with that wooden tool again, kind of reset that, push everything back nice and round and on center. So roll it through there, forces everything back on center and round. From experience, Yeah, how do you know how much to blow? That's totally from experience, yeah. You blow it up too thin too many times, you're like, all right, a little less next time, you know? So now we're setting up the bubble. Don't burn me. I see you getting close. Not this time. So we cool down the tip. Tip of the bubble, that's the bottom of our piece. We like to keep a little extra glass down there. So we roll it on the steel to make sure it's nice and thick. And that right there, that's the basic setup for just about any vessel form we want to make. A little bit thicker glass on the tip, a little bit thinner glass up by the head of the pipe. And now I'll start helping out. So everything, as far as what we do up here, is the same up into this point right here. Now Matt has to have an idea on what he wants to make, as far as the shape. Sit down and start to use some hand tools to shape this up. Carving into it with this little flexible pad. A little bit of air. I'm pumping air with this little pump action glass blowing tool. This is our newest glass blowing tool right here, thanks to COVID. We used to wear masks, can't blow through a mask, so they invented this thing, which works great for demonstrations because I can talk and blow at the same time. So quite a big change in that one heat. We stretched a little neck, we carved a line in it. That line closest to the head of the pipe, that's going to be where we break it from the blowpipe. Everything we make has to have some kind of constriction carved in it so you can eventually break it off the pipe. That's how we get it off of there. It's a controlled break. And it got too cold to work with, so he's back at the heat, getting some more heat on that thing. So we call this the Seattle Times newspaper. That's all it is. It's like 7 sheets folded up, soaked in water. How often do you think we hear that question? All the time. So no, it's kind of like cooking, you know? You burn yourself, if you cook in the kitchen, you burn yourself on occasion, same kind of thing. We cut ourselves on sharp bits of glass a lot more often than we get burned. You figure out pretty quick where not to touch doing this. So a little stretching, a little shaping with the newspaper, blowing. Our own blowpipes? No. During COVID times, we all just chose one and that was it. So we weren't sharing mouthpieces, you know, when we all blow in the pipes. But now we just share. We're good friends, Matt and I. You got your own blowpipe? Now, I guess okay. Wow, they didn't tell me. I guess we get our own blowpipes. Matt's been blowing glass for about 7 years. Yeah, and to do what we do up here, making little vessels like we do, we always tell people around 3 to 5 years of experience, dedicated practice. It's kind of similar to like playing a guitar. You know, it's going to take a couple years before you can make anything or make something sound nice, I think. You want to punchy it? You ready? All right. All right, so we blew a bubble, we shaped it, we made the tip of it flat. That's the bottom of the piece. Next thing we want to do is work on the top. So to do that, we're going to punchy this up. This is the punchy. It's a solid steel rod. It's a counterweighted solid steel rod. I'll get a little bit of glass on the end. And I'm going to shape it up. We're going to stick this onto the bottom. We're going to break it off the blowpipe. Then we're going to be attached to this little bit of glass right here. So I'm going to shape this. Very specific shape and temperature. We want this to go on to the bottom. We want it to stay on the bottom until we're done with the thing. We want it to come off nicely. So shape and temperature is really important. Here we go. So stick it on there, aim for the middle. Nice shot. Make little adjustments if we need to. To get it off the blowpipe, we're going to use water. A little bit of water cracks the glass. We'll put water on that line. He'll tap the blowpipe and it should pop right off. Here we go. Water right there. Boom. Wow. It worked. You did it. That works every time. So I needed to get this straight back into the fire for a heat. This heat that I'm taking, we call this a flash. A flash is basically a maintenance heat. We can't let anything get too cold. If anything drops below 800 Fahrenheit, put it back into the fire that's 2000 Fahrenheit. The glass will get thermally shocked and it will explode. You know how I know that? I've seen Matt do it.
Lying.
We've all done it. Every glass blower has exploded things. Can't tell you how many things I've exploded. Too many to count. You gotta break a lot of stuff to figure out what's going on with the heat. You kind of develop like an internal clock. If you're out of the heat too long, you get nervous because... But up here it wouldn't matter so much because we just make things blue for a day or two and then whatever. Yeah, we're just making little vessels for you all to check out. And then everything we make, eventually it goes next door to the Space Needle gift shop for sale, and then all the money generated goes directly back into supporting local arts. So it's a cool detail of what we do. Yeah. So yeah, however the techniques improved from the original, so Venetian people invented the way we blow glass, as far as heating the glass on pipes and working the glass at a bench like this, the hand tools. Couple thousand years, nothing's changed other than the technology of our equipment. This is powered by electricity. You know, it has a computer, a touch screen computer, so we can program it to do exactly what we want it to do. Originally, everything was wood. When they first started blowing glass in Italy, they burned down a lot of Eastern Europe, sadly, to fuel those fires. It's true. Everything was wood fired. But not a lot has changed other than that. Yeah. We're gonna trim the lip. We're gonna cut glass with scissors. So the glass up there is a little bit thicker than the rest. So we want to get rid of that thick, uneven glass. So we're gonna cut that away with some scissors. First, he's stretching that, thinning that out, and then he'll grab the scissors, and you can just cut right through glass with scissors. Boom. Falls into our little tray. Round that out with the jacks, and it's too cold, so we're gonna go back and warm that up. Now it's up to Matt. He can kind of leave it how he wants. It's kind of sharp up there, so he's gonna melt away the little sharp edge, but he can put the blades of the jacks on the inside, turn, lift, change the angle. That could change the shape. He could leave it how it is. He could paper the outside. It's up to Matt, whatever he wants to do. If the opening's off center, I can paddle it, you know, straighten the lip. That's what we call the top of the piece, the lip of the piece. Or I can shield, you know, that's the burning question. The glass is hot, we have to get close to it. So we're gonna feel that heat, so we can help each other out with a shield. Pretty small thing. When the work gets bigger, you're gonna see bigger shields, sleeves on your arm, or protective gear. It's rare, we never wear gloves really. If you're gonna sculpt something, you can wear a glove on your right hand, gives you a few extra seconds while you're making your move. But other than that, we don't really wear gloves during the process of the glass. What are you gonna do? Oh, we're gonna puff it. We have the ability to add a little air, inflate this. So watch the top, it's gonna puff up. It's gonna use this little cone on a tube. Right here, it's subtle, just rounding out. Thinning that glass out, getting us a little closer to our desired shape. Okay, we're gonna open it up. Now we're gonna open it up. Beeswax on the jacks, lubricates them so they glide and slide on the hot glass. It's flammable, you might see some flames. We got some small ones for making cups, some bigger ones for making vases. Let's see what he wants to use. So you can breathe in. The pipe's so long that it would take a long time for you sucking through the tube to get anything hot, and you'd probably drop the pipe due to the hot air heating up the pipe before it got to your face or your mouth, right? So there's techniques where you can suck into, so we make a bubble bowl, you blow a sphere, and then you heat up the front of the sphere, and you suck, and it collapses in and makes a bowl, a double wall bowl. You could also make a tube of glass, off the end of the pipe and suck molten glass into the tube, making a solid bit of glass. Specific color techniques, you do that. So blades on the inside, opening that up.
Wow.
Blades on the outside, shaping that up. All right, there it is. It's beautiful. Look at that thing. Gorgeous. All right, last step. We got to remove it from the punty. How do we get it off there? Water. That's how we get it off. Yeah, we'll put a little drop of water on the connection. Puts tiny little cracks in the glass, the weak point. We tap the rod, vibrations go through the metal into the glass, breaking it where we tell it to break with that little drop of water. Don't drop it. And then we're going to load it into this silver box. This is the annealing oven, 950 Fahrenheit, 510 Celsius. This is where we put everything we make throughout the day. End of the day, run a program, cools that glass down slowly overnight. When we come in tomorrow morning, we can unload it with everything we made today. So here we go, a little drop of water. And a tap. Comes right off. We're going to torch that, a little bit sharp when it gets broken off the punty. So this gets rid of any sharp glass, gets it hot enough so we can stamp it with our little community hot shop stamp. So now you know where it was made. And there it is, a beautiful little blue vase made by Matt, everybody! Good night, see you tomorrow. Go in there with your friends you made earlier. All right, well stick around, ask us questions if you got them. We'll do that again in